The Women of West Africa Entrepreneurship Festival, a forum designed to foster and build a strong network and alliance of women entrepreneurs in Sub-Saharan Africa, held its 2015 edition at the Landmark Center, Lagos. It had an opening session with young Nigerian dynamic journalist Chude Jideonwo, co-founder of Red Media, inspiring the women entrepreneurs to be determined, courageous, and resolute in their quest to creating valuable businesses.
We believe that this nation kills dreams and kills spirits. We see a country that rewards mediocrity, that rewards laziness and style over substance. Many of the women work hard and work fast, but they see those who do not get to the front seat, sit in business class, get invites to corporate functions, to government functions, and sit on corporate boards. We do great work, and it seems like no one really cares about the quality of the work. And we think, to hell with it. This country doesn't really deserve this much effort. This country makes the possible impossible. You can hustle, you can strive, but to break through, it will fight you every step of the way. And so with that, I say thank you to the women of West Africa for inviting me to give this keynote address today. As an avowed feminist, at the time when the word is controversial, and one whose top 5 role models in business and in life are women, and one whose company management is composed more than 50% of women, it's a pleasure and an honor to speak to this and the next generation of business and African leaders.
Highlight of the event was an opening panel session with a discourse on turning vision to reality, which was an avenue for leading entrepreneurs and finance market stakeholders to share their perspective on turning ideas to viable businesses.
From my own experience, what I find is that a lot of people have visions, they have dreams, but half the time, those visions or those dreams are either unbankable or unrealizable because they don't think it through. So you have ideas, some of them nice, but what it takes to realize those dreams, a lot of women don't know how to go about it. One of the first ways is capacity building. That is, how do I turn this dream into a very flourishing business? That is, what do I need to know? A lot of people think themselves, for the sake of argument, I want to set up a water bottling business. That is, I want to sell spring water or bottled water. But then when you ask them the question that, okay, who are going to be your distributors? What sort of credit terms are you going to give those distributors? What sort of due diligence are you going to do to make sure that your distributors keep your water, which is ingestible, in very, very safe and hygienic conditions? What are your cash flow projections? What is the downside? What is the base case? What sort of management are you going to have? Are you going to be a sole management type entrepreneur? Or you're going to have very hired, skilled personnel to run your business? Most of the time, women kind of like, I didn't realize that it's going to entail all these sort of things. That is, they just have this idea, they have some money that either they have been able to, they're fortunate to have been able to get, and they don't think things through, which is where we come in as a bank. It's important that you have to know and understand those steps. Otherwise, your dreams will become a nightmare.
I'm going to take it from a little bit of a different perspective, because as a consultant, we see a lot of clients that are very inspired. So these are young ladies and gentlemen that have fantastic ideas, great belief in themselves, And they're asking the question, how do I get my company to grow? What do I need to do? And I want to start by picking some of my really good clients where I've seen them grow from 3 or 4 people making biscuits because the wife used to bake and it was just a thing that he loved to eat, and he said, if I like it so much, I'm sure Nigeria will like it too. To the IT person that wrote a program for one of the big online shopping companies, and he said, look, I can write my own software to do something else and serve another set of customers. And what they always have in common, this vision to reality thing, for me is very interesting. I believe they have a certain mindset. If I think back and look at what my interactions with them, the mindset is actually quite endearing but also frustrating. Endearing because you know that person has great self-belief. Nothing you're going to say is going to hold him down for too long. It might hurt him for a minute or two, but he's going to shake it off because he believes that he has a purpose. It's a bit infuriating because it also makes it very difficult for you to advise them, because they think they know, because they think that their product speaks for itself no matter what the consultant says. So that's really, it's enduring but also a little difficult to work with. But for me, I think that when I look back, what they always have in common is the way they address the fear of fair and what I also call the fear of failure. Because if you let fear rule you, you will dismiss your ideas before they take shape. If you let fear rule you, any little discouragement from family, friends, customers, whatever it is, will get you running to that next thing.
You have vision, you have drive, you have passion, you believe in yourself. I don't think you need to be pep talked on that. What is usually missing are the practical steps, the real stories. I'm also sure that you've heard some of the things you've already heard here before. You've heard them 10 million times, but you want to know the how. If you do not do something, nobody's going to believe in you. See, away from your mother and your father and your brothers and your sisters who love you, and they are your blood, so they have to love you, and they have to believe in you, and they have to tell you you'll be okay, you're going to make it, and all of that. Away from those people, if you don't do something, nobody's going to believe in you. And I run a company called the Make It Happen Productions. Whoop, yes. And I called it that because people used to call me to make things happen for them. So yes, my first job is I'm an actor. So I work on stage and I work on film and I work on television. When I'm not doing that, I'm producing, I'm running around to make productions happen. I'm very passionate about telling stories and telling the African story and projecting Africa right to the world. And so people will call me and say, oh, Lala, I want to do this play. Oh, I want to do this film. Call everybody for me. And because I also teach drama, I come in contact with young talent. And I realized people would call me to do these things for them. It would be excellent. Many times I didn't get paid for it. So another thing I'll say to you is, you don't want, you will not die for hunger. Do you understand? Food, money in your pocket is not so if you're doing something and your goal is money, you are also not going to live. Because when you, the first few times you need to do it, you need to do it just because you want to bring it to life. Sometimes you even need it just to tell yourself that you can do it, not even because of somebody else. So many times you just need to jump, make the mistake, fall flat, but let's have a story that I did it and I made a mistake and now I've come to you for advice. Because too many people are just sitting down and telling the story and talking. And see, Chude has said it, Nigeria will depress you. Everything works against the average Nigerian. Sometimes I say that just because you are born in Nigeria, the education system is not great. By the time you measure your success level at 15 with your counterparts in America or in London at 15, you're not really on the same level, and it's not your fault. So sometimes you just have to jump. The first thing I'm going to say is do it already.
The Women of West Africa Entrepreneurship Forum remains focused on creating value in the Nigerian and Sub-Saharan African economy through women. It is expected that this will increase in scale and capacity.